I think when you record music, there's always this idea that you're going into like an unknown territory. Solaris made a huge impact on me for many years, so I always returned to this movie and watched it again and again and again. Artemyev did the music, and in these days, first of all, it was electronic music. But it was very quiet. It was, in a way, kind of invisible. I mean, you could not really recall a melody. Music for movies should exactly serve the image and the feeling of the scene rather than taking over. There's one scene when Kelvin just is alone on the spaceship and looks out of the window and sees the ocean. I think this was a very strong influence on me how to compose, for instance, when I compose for movies or when I'm as well sometimes composing for my more ambient materials. I never obviously want to be too strong in the foreground. Stranger Than Paradise was one of the early Jim Jarmusch movies I saw, and it's a wonderful movie. It has a very strong connection to music. Jim Jarmusch had always amazing taste in terms of compositions. When you look at his movies, there was always a very strong connection for him to the music, and a lot of his music he involved actors. This was the first time when I realized that the music has its own life after the movie. That you can listen to the soundtrack and the soundtrack becomes a record similar to other records you have on your shelf. This is the advantage of soundtracks, because when you disconnect them to the image, when you just listen to the soundtracks, you start shooting your own movie with your eyes. The music becomes the soundtrack for what you see. Specifically when you drive, I think it's a great situation. And when I drive the car, I think one of the most important things for me is that there's a good sound system in the car, because this is one of the best places to listen to music, because you can listen very loud. You can drive for an hour and listen to your favorite track over and over again. THX 1138 is a George Lucas movie, and I'm not a Star Wars kid, let's say. But then a friend of mine pointed me to his student movie. And based on that short movie, he was asked to shoot like a feature film. And THX came out.
THX 1138 will be taken into custody at a minimal monetary expenditure.
Are you all right in there?
In this movie as well, what is incredibly done is there's a lot of machine sounds inside. Like little bleeps, little tones, computer speaking, little test tones, oscillators. So the aesthetic of that movie is what I love, because it's very pure. It's very stripped down to pure sine waves. The noises of the machine, the noises of the surrounding, the noises of the society, the elevators, the motorcycles, everything. gave me a lot of inspiration, and of course this was a huge impact as well. What kind of elements of music or elements of sounds I'm choosing in order to compose. A movie is a wonderful situation where people collaborate. Collaboration is always the best way when nobody is too visible, too strong, when everything becomes organic and works together.